Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to the Racing Line for another live stream here on the channel, this time both on YouTube and Twitch. We don't normally do the qualifying events on YouTube, but I thought we'll go for a nice little change. Let's just chill out. We don't often chill out on a Monday evening. It's normally stressful with the Jetta Cup and the last RLTC season, which was insane from memory. It's got a lot to live up to this season, to be honest, and today we are trying to find our new grid. Welcome back to the Racing Line Touring Car Championship. This is the qualifying round. We are at Rudskogen Motor Centre in Norway, streamed on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch today with me, Jack Johns, your commentator. Don't forget, this is powered by GT Omega Racing, so if you want to get yourself some GT Omega stuff, the discount code TRL5 can get you 5% off. And of course, we're still in partnership with VCO eSports, who won't be with us today for the qualifier, but will of course be joining us for the season, taking some super photographs. And it sounds so silly because we're on a game, realistically. A simulator, don't say game. But the photos are insane. They really are insane. Like, once all the liveries are sorted, which they'll have, all the new drivers will have 2 weeks to sort out their liveries before the media day, which is in VIR in 2 weeks' time. Once all that is sorted and VCO get their hands in the session, the photographs, mwah, chef's kiss, perfect. You want to check them out? Go to theracingline.org and you can see photos from all 3 Jetta Cup seasons and the first RLTC season. I think VCO joined us in the second season of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, so there's no photos of season 1, but that's where we started just ramping up the quality anyway. I mean, qualifying has begun here. There's 10 minutes qualifying. It is open, so they're all on track at once. Let's have a look at the schedule. The RLTC schedule this season. So today is the 9th of January. This is the qualifier. This is to test some new drivers who are signing up to us. Or just maybe some old faces that we haven't seen in a while, who are joining the grid today for the touring cars that maybe didn't join us for the Jettas. So we'll see how they get on. I know a couple of newcomers have driven the TCR a lot. They're going to be quick. They were very quick in practice, so we'll go through those drivers today. Media day in 2 weeks at VIR in America before we head over to Australia for our first round at the end of January. On the 30th of January, we head to Phillip Island. We then have, so we've got the first 4 weeks in a row. Round 1, 2, 3, and 4 are a quadruple header and all over the other side of the world. Australia, then to Japan for Twin Ring Motegi East. That's wrong, actually. We go to Okayama. I'll need to update that because we voted on that track and it is not Twin Ring Motegi. It is Okayama. Round 3 is Interlagos on the 13th of February. Round 4 is not Belle Isle. It is Canadian Tire because we voted on that as well. So I will update this ready for media day. Nürburgring is also incorrect. That is Silverstone National. That's the last voted track. Don't worry. The rest is correct. Round 6 is Imola on the 13th of March. Round 7 is Magny-Cours on the 20th of March. And then we have a special open event on the 27th of March, which I'm so hoping that everyone that joins us over the course of this season ends up signing up to that final event, because the 2.4 hour of Le Mans is on the 27th of March, where we'll see hopefully our grid of 30 touring cars will be half of the grid, and then we're going to have 30 GT4s going around as well. So we should have 60 cars in total for 2 hours and 40 minutes of Le Mans for our special event at the end of March. Aiming for that. Oh my god, look at that. Look what the overlay's doing. Did you see 1,000th place, Stephen King and Joe Gibson? That is insanely broken. Anyway, moving on. Qualifying, 4 minutes done already, 6 minutes to go. Greg says, watching from the stands tonight. Good luck out there, ZFG. So let's have a look at some people, shall we? What's going on out there on track? That is not a great view of whatever car this is. Oh, he's pulling over. That's why. That's Mark Draper. In fact, no, let's stay with Mark Draper quickly. So he's pulled over to let some people through. He is driving the Hyundai today. Don't forget, in RLTC, once all the teams are sorted after today, we have a little bit of a unique how do I call this, scenario in the RLTC where, well, the grid is the size of 30. So we have 10 of each car. 10 teams. Each team has an Audi RS3, a Honda Civic, and a Hyundai Elantra. And it makes the team's championship extremely fair because each team has one of each car. There's also a manufacturer's championship, so the top Hyundai, top Honda, and top Audi. And of course there's a drivers championship as well as the teams championship. We've got some new teams joining us this time. New teams to the RLTC, but some teams that we've seen in the Jetta Cup. And Draper will be joining one of those teams, I believe. Not sure who he's going to join just yet, but here he is. He's one of the fastest guys out there. He's currently P3 in this qualifying session with a 1:29.5, the fastest Hyundai out there. The fastest Honda out there is in P2. That is Arthur Thurtle. He is currently driving this very bright Simicube-looking machine. I'm sure that's going to turn into a very nice chrome and lime green Project Dynamic car by the time we get round to Media Day. 1:29.3 for that Honda, the number 10 car. And look at this for a familiar face. We have Morgan Burkhardt currently on pole position with a 1:28.7 in the Audi RS3, the fastest car out there. This, for those of you that don't know or didn't join us in Season 1, is last season's champion. He drove the Audi RS3 last season. He's driving it this season. He had a fierce rivalry with Pulsar eSports' Connor Mills last time out, who was also driving the Audi. The championship ended after 10 rounds and 30 races with 2 points between them. Just 2 points between them. It was absolutely insane. The drama, the chaos throughout that season was what it was. Let's go for a lap, actually, with last year's champion. And let's see how he does. So, third gear through this long, tight right-hander, but you want to get the best exit you can down this back straight. If we have a look at the track map, you can see just up there in the top left, MB, highlighted in yellow. He's now going downhill into his long sweeping right. We're going to see a lot of problems here today. The rear end of the Honda through here is insane. The Elantra loses it, and look at this. Even the Audi loses it. A nice little drift there from last year's champion going down that right-hander. He's going to have lost a lot of time through this chicane where you're just scared to get a slowdown, because if you cut those curves too much, you're going to get one of those, and then you're going to have to serve it very soon. He goes quite wide here. This is a blind long left-hander. You can't really see the apex as it goes up, then back down, round to the left, round to the right. Don't touch the grass on the right-hand side because you'll just wheel spin down the hill into a hairpin. I don't actually know, to be honest, if there's many overtaking spots around here. I've heard a little bit of rumbling of complaints about the overtaking opportunities here, but that's why it is a qualifying round. It's a tough track. It's got like undulation, it's got gradients, it's got camber, and it's a tough track to pass. So we're really going to test people's patience and whether people need to sort some stuff out before we get to Media Day and it all kicks off. Stephen in Twitch chat says, oh, he's in a new all sports paint. He is. Do you know what? I haven't even sent the templates out yet, so I'm not sure if he's sticking with this, but it looks like they have updated it. What's he going to do this lap? I don't think that was a 1:30.5, so no better. But Dan Mould, there's a new face. Here is Dan Mould with his SRL TCR livery. SRL, another league run by John Brown and Dan Mould, I believe. They race touring cars. They're also running a touring car season at the moment, and they also run GT4 seasons. Met them randomly once upon a time in I believe I met Dan in an F3 race long time ago. Him and Stuffy, for those of you that follow Stuffy on YouTube as well. But ever since, we've bumped into each other in officials every now and then, not literally, but we have had some quite tough races. One that sticks out in my mind was an MX5 race at Silverstone National, I think. That was insane. Was it MX5? I think it was MX5. A crazy race that was. Swapping positions left, right and centre. But he's done a 1:28.6 in the Hyundai. He's only 1/10 off of Morgan Burkhardt, and Arthur Thurtle, who I believe is going to be his teammate, is second and third. So Project Dynamic will be ones to watch. Last year's team's champions, of course, Pulsar eSports, have Stephen King is driving the Honda at the moment. Not sure if he's going to stay in it, but he's in a new car this season. He was in the Hyundai last season. John Bailiff, who was in the Honda, is now in the Hyundai. He's hiding in the pit lane. There he is. You can just about see him. Ike returns to us. He's still got his Lurchus Academy livery on. Maybe driving for Lurchus Gaming. Lurchus Academy will be no more this season because we've got too many new teams. But we have got 4 Lurchus drivers out there on the track, which means one of those Lurchus drivers will have to join another team. Ike is one of them. Yeezer Samundere is here in the Hyundai. We've got David Corpus, who's just jumped up to 5th place in the Honda with a 1:28.9 as we go into the last 20 seconds of qualifying. And who else? Alejandro Caraday, I think, should be out there somewhere. Yeah, there he is. We also have Stephen Fry back with us. He was in Meatball Motorsport last season. Mark Draper, we've mentioned. Joe Gibson for Team ORD returns to us. Martin Wallace for ZFG is out there somewhere in a Honda. Caraday, we've just seen. Hughes for ZFG, I believe, will be... Is he new for this season? Or did he join RLTC? I can't remember. I've just because the time's ticked over, I'm completely lost. Let's have a look at the... Shall we have a look at the grid? This is what the grid looks like then. Oh, look at that. Dan Mould got pole position in the end. Right at the end, Dan Mould takes first pole position for Project Dynamic in the Hyundai. Morgan Burkhardt in P2, less than a 10th behind. Arthur Thurtle, John Bailiff, David Corpus, Stephen Fry, Stephen King, and Kyle Ridley make it your top 8. Stephen Fry has done a cracking job there to get up into P6, so well done to him. Did I skip too many forward? Eric Marintveld, Ika Lequay, Jesus Mindre, Mark Draper, Joe Gibson, Martin Wallace, Alejandro Caraday, Brandon Hughes, Alexander van der Velde, Jan Weiswanger, your top 18. And then we had a few drivers not qualify. I am one of those drivers. We also had Thornton, Murray, and Van Olst, who did not qualify. And that is your grid for today. I might be joining the races, by the way, streamers. I might join race 2 just to see how it goes. But let's have a look at where we are. We're just waiting for the top boys to join the grid. They are lapped races. So there's 10 laps. Here, there's 3 10-lap races tonight. Or every night for the RLTC. That's how we run it. There's no shortcuts you can take on this track. No shortcuts indeed. We can get rid of that dashboard. We're looking at David Corpus currently. There's Dan Mould, your pole sitter for today. I don't know if that scenic cam will stay, but that is a cracking view of the starting place. We want to look at them from this point of view, really. Blimp cam, nah. We don't want blimp cam. Nah. It's got to be this one. Andre says new overlay looks pretty. Thank you. Still says Jetta Cup in the top left. It rotates between Jetta Cup and RLTC, both of our championships. And the lights are off already. And away they go. Lights are out. Dan Mould gets a cracking start, as does Burkhardt, as does Thurtle. You got all 3 manufacturers there in the top. And it looks like Morgan Burkhardt's going to try around the outside already into turn 1 to get the inside of turn 2. But he can't quite get his car alongside. And then they've got the long run down into the downhill section as we see the top 3 break away from the rest of them. It looks fairly clean from the rest of the guys behind. That's Jan Weiswanger. He's in a different looking car there. Let's have a look, see if we can see. Oh, there was some free wide action. Who's going to lose the rear going down the hill? No one's gone off there. Oh, one Win It or Bin It car. That'll be Kyle Ridley in the Win It or Bin It Honda, who's just gone off circuit a little bit down there. But we've got Morgan Burkhardt, who's now down into P3 because Arthur Thurtle has passed him in the Honda. That'll be a loss of traction there from Morgan Burkhardt as Stephen King goes wide as well. No, it wasn't. It was. I'm going to get those two confused all race because they're in the wrong car. That was John Bailiff who went wide and let a few cars through because he's now in the Hyundai. And Stephen King now in the Honda. It's confusing. They have swapped over, but no big crashes from what I can see, apart from maybe 1 or 2 cars at the back. Dan Thornton has lost a bit of pace. And look at this, John Bailiff coming back through down the outside of, that is Stephen Fry in the Hyundai, but he can't quite get it done in the Elantra NTC. And then they go towards the final corner. This long right-hander. He's in second gear, is John Bailiff here, trying to get as close as he can. This is what it looks like from behind, though. He's got Ika Lequay for company, and that is that Draper trying to make a move as well? It is. Look at this. That's Manintveld and Draper swapping, weaving left and right. Joe Gibson's getting involved as well. 2 Hyundais down towards turn 1. The Audi and the Honda of Ridley as well. Side by side are Manintveld and Draper. Manintveld on the inside of turn 2. Holds it. And look at Joe Gibson come through in the Team ORD car. The Audi sees his opportunity, spies the gap, and he throws it down the inside. But has he got the run down this back straight? I do not think he does. And Mark Draper goes back into P11. Joe Gibson can't quite get that position done. David Corpus is having a cracking race. Oh, that's Manintveld and Ridley. Manintveld and Ridley off, sliding round, and I think Joe Gibson as well. They've all drifted round and off the circuit. The rear end is absolutely atrocious round this circuit to keep in a straight line as we see Jan Weiswanger off. I actually don't think there was any contact with any of those drivers as we jump on board with, this is Martin Wallace racing with the rejoining Eric Manintveld now, so that's going to reshuffle the order. That downhill right-hander has really caught a few drivers off guard already. And look at Jesus Amundere. Who's he racing? He's round the outside of Brandon Hughes. Sam Van Olst in the Honda. No, that's Duncan Murray in the Honda coming flying through. Goldwing, who's both started last, are actually having a fairly good race. Look at these two, the Goldwing pair. Oh, Sam Van Olst with a gorgeous switchback on his teammate. gets that move done. The number 92 car in the Audi. It's good to see Sam Van Olst back. He's disappeared since the Jetta Cup, and here he is, absolutely putting moves on people. This one was his teammate, and now he's lining up Brandon Hughes into the final corner. They rub doors, busts his way through to Sam Van Olst, the Belgian driver, and up into P15. User Samundre is next on his target list. This is what it looks like from the nose. He's got a bit of a gap as we see some side-by-side racing up the road in towards turn 2. That is Manintveld and the Honda of Caraday in P11. For race 2, remember, the top 6 are reversed, and then for race 3, the top 12 are reversed. So if you're in and about that area, you're looking at a good result somewhere. And of course, if you crashed in the first race, then you may find yourself climbing up. And look at that. That is Caraday and Manintveld still side by side up there in this long right-hander. Playing it safe, Sam Van Olst, by the sounds of his engine. These guys are rapid, but at the front end of the grid, this is Dan Mould absolutely running away with a 2-second lead in the Hyundai for Project Dynamics. Scary stuff. I said to him when he signed up, you're going to be scary to some of these guys as a regular touring car driver. Whereas some of these other guys who have raced with us before haven't touched the car since RLTC. Oh, that was clumsy. Morgan Burkhardt, and that's Arthur Thurtle making contact. Morgan knows what he's done. He's letting him back through. Sacrifices his own race. That wouldn't be a penalty, but it would be a warning if this was an official race. Arthur Thurtle will, of course, be fine with that because he's kept the position. And Arthur Thurtle's just a stand-up guy and knows mistakes happen. This is just media day, but they're both down in P8 and 9. If they can get back up to P6, they can see P6. They might be starting on pole position in that next race. We're on lap 4 of 10 here already, and now Dan Mould is 4 seconds in the lead after that contact with a 1:28.9 is the fastest lap of this race. This man lighting up the timing screens. This is what his sectors look like. Well, he's only done one sector, so 25.5, and Stephen King was a 1/10.5 down on that time. Let's have a look at Morgan Burkhardt's issue. Oh, that said, do you know what? Andy likes picking out things. It does say Jetta Cup in the top left, which is on purpose, but the replay screen also said Jetta Cup, which was not on purpose, so that needs to be changed. Let's have a look at what happened here. Was it just a send? Oh, yeah, look, he's just... I don't know if that was a lock-up or what, but it was definitely clumsy. What happened to Jan Weiswanger? Down the hill on the right-hand side, behind the mountain, and that's where you can see Joe... Oh, he just loses it to the left. That's an interesting one. Joe Gibson also lost it under the brakes, so they did all lose it under braking. Ooh, Dan Thornton did not. He looks like he made contact with the... Is that Alexander van der Velde? Can I get earlier than that? Oh, just leaning on each other on the straight. We saw this in the Jetta Cup. A lot of crashes on the straight. That Project Dynamic car looks really nice. We haven't seen Alex yet. That is a nice looking livery. They're going to be mean this season. They're going to be up there. That was clumsy on the straight. Once again, let's have a look. I don't think much happened at the start. It says Joe Gibson crashed. I don't think he did. Did he hit anyone at the start? He got straight past that Lurchus Gaming car. Oh, this is I don't know why it said Joe Gibson crashed. He looks fine. Nothing's happened yet, so nothing will happen. Let's go back live and catch up with what's going on. So Dan Mould leads the race 5.5 seconds from Stephen King in the Honda, who's in P2, and David Corpus. These guys will be hoping that this is an official round. David Corpus is in P3, Ika Lequay P4, Stephen Fry P5, Mark Draper, another newcomer here to the Racing Line Championships. He's currently in P6. It shows up for Win It or Bin It Racing. That is temporary. The teams have not been sorted just yet. John Bailiff is up there still in P7 after his earlier issue. If he can get one more place, he'll be starting the next race on pole position. We're on lap 6 of 10. Morgan Burkhardt will also be climbing his way up as well, or trying to, is Kyle Ridley, the Australian driver there in P9, who was in Win It or Bin It last season, a race winner last season as well. Alejandro Caraday is racing Arthur Thurtle. It's Honda v Honda back here in P10 and 11. The cars are, I let them race whatever they want today. They're not set, so you will see a mixed grid. We've got only a few Audis out there, a lot of Elantras and a lot of Hondas. And that looks like a done deal as Caraday holds on to P10. We've got Arthur Thurtle in P11, who's actually going to go around the outside into the chicane. Look at that bent rear wing. Has he got the downforce to hold it around the long left-hander? Still side by side. Arthur Thurtle and Alejandro Caraday. Is Caraday going to run him off to the right-hand side towards the grass? I don't think he can. His nose is still there. Arthur Thurtle backs out, slots in behind, but they go down towards the hairpin. Let's go on board with Arthur Thurtle. This is Caraday. You should see Arthur. You can see Arthur in the rear view mirror. And there is Arthur Thurtle as they head down towards the right-hander now. This is a weird right which opens up. But Caraday putting his car in all the right places right now. But look at the switchback that Arthur Thurtle's got. He's got the run as Arthur. He's on the inside for the next one, but it puts him on the outside for the final turn. He's trying. He's really trying to get his nose in somewhere. Oh, he's disappeared there. I wonder where he's gone. I think he's still, yeah, there he is. He's still there, and then he comes back into the race, and he's on the outside now for turn 1. And I'll tell you what, Martin Wallace has got the best seat in the house of this battle here. As we jump on board with the ZFG driver, you can see Caraday. Look at that, Arthur Thurtle around the outside of T1, down the inside of T2, but Caraday's going to try and get the better exit, but I think he's run out wide. He's put his foot down too much as he's got the run as Martin Wallace down this back straight, but Caraday's going to try and hold it. It's a drag race. It's a Honda Civic drag race, and that's Maninveld coming back into the fray with the Elantra. But look at that, Caraday swooping round the outside. That is brave stuff with how the rear end gets lost through there. I thought I saw Lecquay and Bailiff swap over, but they are still in the same order. But this battle is not over. Martin Wallace trying to squeeze his fray through, and look at Eric Maninveld coming through. He's down the inside into the left-hander. Martin Wallace is going to go wide. Sam Van Olst comes through as well in the Audi RS3, and Duncan Murray is still following him through as well. These guys are just taking one person at a time in the Goldwing cars. Sam Van Olst is up into P13 there in the Goldwing RS3, and look at Duncan Murray sending it down the inside of Martin Wallace, who's now going to be on the outside of the left sweeper, but Martin will try and fight that as best he can, and he does. Martin holds onto it. Greg says these graphics though, that must mean, oh, you're talking about the overlay, they look good. The WEC graphics these are styled on, and the Audi is awful around here, says Stephen. Thank you for saying that too late, because I picked the Audi for my potential race in race 2. I wish you told me that so that I could have picked the Elantra, which is the obvious clear choice here based on the let's call them the pro touring car drivers of Mould and Draper. I'm only saying pro because I know they drive it, and I know they drive it well in the SRL League. You should check them out as well. Great guys over there. And I'm good to, do you know what? I'm glad to see some of them come over here as well, just to join this and say hello, because it's good, it's nice. I think more people should work together rather than not, if that makes sense. That wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. Just I don't see many YouTubers do like collaborations, and it's should be done more, because I feel like it helps everyone out, especially if everyone wants to try and keep up with Mr. Broadbent and Mr. Dave Cam. Actually, Dave Cam knows who we are. That's do you know what? I'm going to get that in there. People are going to make fun of me. I don't care. Dave Cam knows who we are. How cool is that? If you're watching, Dave, hello. Ika Lecquay and John Bailiff are fighting, and it looks like Ika Lecquay is holding on to that position, and Morgan Burkhardt is going to take advantage and move up into P7. Ika Lecquay has got I don't know if it's broken, but he's got a damaged arm. I've seen the picture. He's not lying. He's in a cast. He's currently in P6. I don't know if he's recovered well for this race, or he convinced his doctor that he was allowed to do this. But here he is, holding on to P6 with a potential reverse grid pole as we go on to the second to last lap of this race. But he's got last year's champion and John Bailiff behind him. Race winner John Bailiff, I should say. He did win a race. It was Zolder? Yeah, the famous Zolder, where I said... where I just ignored the fact that he won the race because I was so... Oh, no, Lecquay's got... God, no. Commentator's curse. Commentator's curse. Don't do it. Lecquet lost the rear end, and he loses 3 positions as a result as Carl Ridley tries to make it 3. Yes, he does. 3 positions lost for Ike Lecquet from 1 slide. Morgan Burkhardt moves up into reverse pole. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Duncan Murray famously finished 2nd at Zolder. And it negated the excitement for John Bailiff's only win because, I don't know, John's just fast, so you just assume John Bailiff has had more wins than he has had. Which is a shame, because when he does win, it should be exciting. More exciting than probably I let on that day. Because it doesn't come around for him often, and he does deserve them. But this is an impressive drive. A new car, new steering wheel with force feedback for Stephen King. Yes, he's 8 seconds back from Dan Mould, you can see in the distance there, who's just gone on to the final lap. But I think he'll be quite happy with this, and I think they're going to settle into their cars as of today. What does this button do? Battles box. Stephen King up 5 positions. Mark Draper is up 8 positions. But your biggest gainer of this race is Sam Van Olst, who is up 10 positions into P12. He has had an absolute corker, and I hope he watches this back with excitement because he's done an amazing job in the number 92 Audi. Dan Thornton is in the pits, I believe. I don't know if that is a drive-through. Is he getting repairs? I won't watch that too long, so we'll be there forever. Dan Mould, this battles box, trying to work it out. Let's see. So we can see positions gained. We can see the time. So we're looking at Stephen King. We can see the delta to the car ahead and the delta to the car behind. That makes sense. What does this one do? Time delta. That shows the gap increasing lap after lap from lap 4 to lap 9. 4.9 seconds it was on lap 4. It's now 8 seconds. Oh no, Stephen said something's happened to Corpus, but Dan Mould is about to finish his race. Sorry, I was looking at the graphics. There he is. Dan Mould takes your first race win, which isn't the official race win. We need to have a look. I want to find out what happens to Corpus, and I don't want to let people down. So let's see if I can find it. Did he drop many positions? I can't see it on the overlay. How long ago was it? I told you we're relaxing today. It doesn't matter that I'm wasting time like this because it's only qualifier. So we're just having a bit of fun. We're trying out overlays. We're just chilling out together watching this race. That was a good race, though, for a qualifying race. I will say that. Only 22 cars on the grid. I know a couple people are away today, which is fine. They'll be here for the media day and race 1 as it goes straight over into race 2. Shall I do this race? I think I should do this race. I can't get rid of the overlays whilst I'm racing, though. Let's just have a look at the grid. I'll show you the grid. John Bailiff starts on pole. Morgan Burkhardt 2nd. Fry, Draper, King, and Mould. They're all reversed. Top 6 are reversed. Ridley, Lecquet, Thurtle, Manintveld, Van Olst, Caraday, Murray, Yeezesemundere, Van der Velde, Wallace, Gibson, Hughes round off your grid. And then I wonder if there's just a glitch that doesn't show. So that needs to be sorted. I can't see below. Oh, that was not meant to be picked. I can't see below 18th place. That's been twice now, so I will have to fix that for next time. Someone write that in Discord to remind me. Oh! I'm racing. I gridded with 1 second to go. Why not? Oh no, the overlay is covering stuff I would like to see. Oh, we're off. Wheel spin aplenty. Okay, 10 laps round Rudskogen with 20 other cars out there. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't drive this car, but we'll see how tough it really was for these guys as we hold it tight to the inside and have a look at passing. I think that's Dan Thornton on our left in the ORD Hyundai. This is going to be a dangerous send if I do commit to the inside here, because if I lock up or spin, I think I've got it under control. There's no rear end snapping just yet. That's fine. That's 2 positions because I saw someone off in the distance. You guys are going to have to help me in chat because I can't see who I'm racing. I can see the timing thing on my left-hand side, but I can't look at it because I'm trying. Oh! Because I'm trying to look where I'm going, as there's a Lurchus car still alongside me. And I'm trying not to die. I think there's still a car alongside me. It's an ORD. It's Joe Gibson. I think I'm going to try and commit to the inside here, but it's going to ruin. Oh! That was a bit robust. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. Lurchus Hyundai. That will be User Samundere, I think. Well, not a bad first lap, I guess, for jumping straight in. I did do a few laps beforehand. But not too many, as Joe goes to look down my inside and cover him off. I've not got a very good run there. They're getting better runs than me out of that turn 2. But I'm trying to use this as a hard man to read sometimes, so I don't want Joe to send it here. Who's this CFG? Oh, I've understeered proper there. Now Joe's going to be around my outside. I'm going to try and give him room. He had it. This will be Brandon Hughes, I think, in the Honda. Oh! Oh, there's cars on the inside. That'll be a few free positions. Faraday says thank you to whoever hit that, to whoever hit him. Right. Come on, Brandon Hughes. I'm hoping he was a bit keen. Oh, he's still got the run. Sorry, I was concentrating. Manitbelt and Caraday in that wreck. Should we try this? This is going to be risky. Oh! Okay. Got it stopped somehow. There's a car around to the right. It's Sam Van Olst. He's lost the rear end in the Audi. That's another position. I don't know what place I'm in. I can see loads of cars though, so let's just focus ahead. We're on lap 3 of 10. That is the Lurchus blockade up ahead of us. I'm really hoping Joe isn't too keen to get past me and will help me out. I'm in reverse pole, man. I am in reverse pole position. Oh, there goes Joe down the inside, but we're going to turn in anyway. That'll ruin his run. Hold it, hold it, hold it tight. I've gone a little bit wide to try and get a better exit out of this final turn. You can't go too wide on the exit there because you'll get a slowdown. Draper is leading. It's from Mould, from Burkhardt, from Fertile, from Bailiff, from Ridley, from King. There you go. There's a little race rundown for you. I can just about read on the straight. But we are trying to get past. That's still User Samundere up there. He's doing bloody well, isn't he? P10. Corpus, Samundere, and Lequay are the next cars. And I'm struggling to keep up here, to be honest. It's going to be a mistake that I need to capitalise on as I nearly lose the rear there. The Honda of Duncan Murray is sliding up ahead. That'll be helpful. Because now they're all going to get blocked through this chicane into this tight left-hander where you can't really see the apex until it's too late. Joe's got a better line through there than me. Or that lap he did anyway. He closes right in on the brakes as well. I'm just not comfortable at all. As we are trying to pull away and attack at the same time, which is a hard task. But look at the line Joe's taking through there. He went really wide, and there's no okay, so there's no benefit by the looks of it to taking a wide line and trying to get a better run onto the main straight, because that's what Joe just did, and he's lost heaps of time by the looks of my... Oh, I wasn't looking at my braking marker. I've got deep. Too busy talking about Joe's mistakes. Missed the 100-meter board. Let's defend. I want P12. I want to claim reverse pole. Let's just look at the rear end, just trying to break away through that downhill right. And it looks like the Lurchus boys have made a mistake as well. Oh, I knew I cut that too much. That's a shame. We're going to have to try and serve this and keep the position. I could just clear it, actually. Should I cheat? Let's clear it. Oh, no, it didn't work. I've thrown Joe off there with the line I was taking. How not to serve a slowdown, indeed. Yeah, I mean, I served it. I did lose the position, but watch us get this back, or try to anyway. I'm trying to squeeze him tight to that right-hander. I love racing Joe, man. But now I'm on the outside of this corner, which is not great. Oh my god, I might be doing it. Is he still there? There you go then. That's Pulsus versus ORD. But the Lurchus boys might have got away. It is back to Jesus being the next target. What lap are we on? 6 of 10. Mark Draper still leads 9/10 from Dan Mould. So Dan Mould, if I'm not mistaken, is closing in on Draper. He's done well from P6. Right, what's the gap? 3.2 seconds to use the Samundere. Let's give this a go. 100-meter board. Try and carry the speed. Accelerate as early as you dare without running too wide on the exit. Not bad. Not bad. 3.3 seconds the gap. Jesus is in the high end. All right, breaking the 100-meter board again, but try not to lose any traction all the way through the corner. As we might not have needed third there. Long, that corner's long, it's sneaky. Only 3 seconds the gap That's not enough of a gain per lap. 2.9 seconds as we cross the line, and we're on lap 8 of 10. I need them to make a mistake. I've gone quiet. I'm concentrating. I closed half a second there though. Yeah, Stephen, you might be right. The Audi is... I don't know what the other cars are like though. I did drive the Honda and the rear end was extremely unstable. Only another half a second, 2 laps to go. 2.5 seconds. Yeah, the Honda extremely unstable everywhere. So whoever's driving that and keeping on track, props to them. The Hyundai did feel quite nice. But the Audi, out of the 3 short test sessions I did, felt like the safest, maybe because it's the slowest. I don't think it's that slow, to be fair. Funny how you concentrate only when there's when there's no one around you. But yeah, I guess. It's because I'm trying to close the gap. I could kind of read what's going on in situations. I'm also really scared of slowdowns around here. The slowdowns in Rudskogen are so stingy. Elantra is OP by miles, says Stephen. Audi will not win the championship this season. Well, it depends. It depends who is driving what. We're on the final lap. I am technically starting on pole, but I'll let you guys decide whether I do race 3 or commentate race 3 so that we can see more of what's going on. Dan Mould is in the lead by half a second. He did pass Mark Draper, but he will be starting the next race in P12. Oh no, look at that, look. Just no, out of nowhere, that understeer. No warning, nothing. So the choices are basically, do we watch Dan Mould try and make his way through the field in race 3, or do we try and hold on to P1 as long as I can in the potential situation Dan Mould catches up to us on pole position? I think if I quit, I don't think Joe gets pole. I think it just stays as it is and pole will be empty. So you'd have to say it now so I can let him pass.
Oh, what happened?
If you're not doing race 3, then... Oh, I'll let Gibson have pole, sorry. Drive into pits so you don't get P12 and commentate.
No, locked it on the way down the hill. Well done, Dan.
There you go. There you go. Right. Good fun that was. Do you know what? Believe it or not, that was less stressful than the Jetta Cup race that I did with you guys at Knock Hill. I don't know if it was an attitude thing or what, but that felt fine. I need to move that replay thing. That's another thing I need to add to the to-do list. It is break time now. Like 6 minutes. Andre says, good boy. Steven says, let him pass! Exclamation mark. Oh. I needed a quick rehydrate, though. Austin Fart Snapchatted me. He should be here. Austin Fart is in this season. Right. Whilst it is break time, the break isn't too long. I think it's actually about 6. Yeah, it is 6 minutes, 7 minutes, including the grid up time. So let's have a look at your race results from both races, shall we? Heat 1, race 1 for the Racing Line Touring Car Championship qualifier. Dan Mould, your winner by 9 seconds. Stephen King P2, Draper P3, Stephen Fry P4, Burkhard, John Bailiff, Carl Ridley, Ikalakwe, Arthur Thurl, and Eric Manenveld are your top 10. Sam Van Nolst made it to P11. Caraday Murray, Jesus and Mundere was there as well. Oh, look. See? Can't go any further. These need to be fixed. This overlay is busted. But this is why we're here. To test. Okay, so we can only do top 18 on the... what was it? Top 18 on the grid. Top 14 on the race for some reason. Something happened to Martin during the second race. He dropped a lot of spots. He probably lost the rear end down the downhill right, would be my assumption. Or he got crashed into. Okay, race 2 looked like this then. We had Dan Mould won again. 2 wins for Dan Mould in the qualifying round. Mark Draper was in P2. A strong pairing there with Dan and Mark. Morgan Burkhard P3, Arthur Thurtle P4. John Bailiff was P5. Carl Ridley P6. Stephen King ended up in P7. Duncan Murray there in P8 for Goldwing. Corpus and LeQuay 9th and 10th. Oh, good stuff from these guys. Amundere, look at that for a Lurchus pairing. 9th, 10th, 11th, and Joe Gibson getting P12 in the end. I was down in P13. Dan Thornton made it to P14. We started next to him at the back. If we throw back to the start, we did start next to Dan Thornton. We were both last. So 13th and 14th from 22nd and 23rd. And that is your results from there. So let's get rid of those. Can I... Whilst we're here, let's do a bit of admin. Round 2 was... Okayama. No, not Okayama. This is such a pain, man. Round 4. This is going to offend some people because I can't change the flag right now, but I'm going to change the track. Canadian Tire. And round 5. If what the World War went a little bit differently. Silverstone. With the German flag. Right, so I'll change those flags another time. That is that. Caraday is driving round right now. What haven't we looked at yet on this new system? We've got... Oh, he's practicing starts. Let's go on board with him. Oh, did you hear that turbo noise? What else have we got? We got pit lane cameras. They're fine. Nice view of Sam Van Nolst there. Gearbox, nose, TV, roll bar, blimp, chopper. Don't use for chopper. TV static. Ooh. Should have probably used TV static or mixed a bit more, to be honest. I like these wide shots. No drone cams here as it's a new track. Why does that say a 4th class? Oh dear, oh dear. How can I fix that? Let's try this. Oh! Look at that. Done it in one. Although with that white background, can't see it. So Hyundai's 2.8k strength of field, Audi's 3.4k strength of field, Honda's 3.4k strength of field. Best time we don't have in this session. Leaders, Mould, Burkhardt and Thurtle. I don't know if that's true right now. Oh, imagine if that all said Project Dynamic. That'd be scary. It's already time. Let's have the leaders up there at the top. And let's go to grid. Here we go. Race 3. Final race of the day, guys and girls. Thank you all for coming to support the qualifying round so far. Joe Gibson starts on pole. Uses a minute. Look at the lurchers in the top 4. Oh, my God. 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Duncan Murray, P5. King, Ridley, Bailiff. Then we got Thurtle, Burkhardt, Draper, Dan Mould. I'm not there, so it's Thornton, Hughes, Sam Van Olst, Carraday, Jan Weiswanger, and then the rest who we can't see because the overlay is broken a little bit. So here we go then. Joe Gibson, pole position. 10 more laps, the final 10 laps. And actually, there's one more thing we need to test that we haven't tested out yet. For those of you in the original RLTC, you would know what I'm talking about. That we should test in this race at some point. So I think we'll try that. Here we go then. It's about to happen. The 5 lights are on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are on. Off they go, and you'll see the wheel spin from all the cars, and we'll see who gets the better start. I'll tell you who didn't get a good start. It is the Lurchers car of Jesus Amundere again in the Hyundai. He's going to get absolutely swamped as they head down towards turn 1. Jesus Amundere down about 10 places, but Joe Gibson a cracking start. Corpus in P2 as they all come filtering through. That is the Audi of Sam Van Olst who's gone wide there. A little bit of a crash. Martin Wallace involved in that as well, who comes to a complete stop. And then they come running down. Carl Ridley there is trying to chase down John Bailiff in the Honda versus Hyundai. Carl Ridley around the outside of the downhill right. He's going to get a slowdown if he tries to carry the speed through there. Stephen King up into P3. Corpus holds on into P2. Joe Gibson is your leader. I don't think we saw many other people crash, but you can see a few more people struggling at the back as they come round the left-hander. Guess what it's time to test out? Yes, Stephen, you got it. I think now is the right time. Let's see how they do, shall we? Stephen says safety car. He was correct. You can see the yellow bar at the top. Safety car has been called. Normally, I will admit, it only gets used for massive pile-ups. Let's say the whole grid, or half the grid was involved, the safety car would come out. And it always lasts for a minimum of 3 laps, which is a shame. That's just the way iRacing works. You have to do the out lap, which is what we're going to do now, because Joe Gibson is going to collect the safety car as he crosses the line. And then after you've done the out lap and he crosses the line again, I can minimize it, I think. Or does he have to do a full lap? I think you collect the car, then you have to do a full lap behind it, and then you can end it. So it's 3 laps in total. Mr. BF John says... that'll be John Brown, I guess. Good luck, Dan, Arthur, Mark, Stephen, and any other SRL members. You've missed it, John. I've already shouted out SRL. Bear times. You want to see Dan Mould? Where is he? He's down... where is Dan Mould? Oh, there he is, in P10. in the SRL TCR machine. And I tell you what, I wonder if I can select the pace car using SDK now. You never used to be able to. No, I cannot. Which is a shame, because look at it. Look at the beautiful Porsche on track with all the touring cars. What happened to Brandon? Brandon or Martin got involved in crashes at the start. I guess we can have a replay whilst we are behind the safety car. So Sam Van Olst's first crash. Three wide into turn one. Oh, Caraday comes flying in. Absolutely. Yeah, he gets both CFG cars. Martin Wallace gets stopped. Manintville gets stopped. That was caused by Caraday. If we can just... let's go on board and I'll show you what I mean. Watch this absolute send. Look at this. Look. Oh my lord. And do you know what? He actually didn't go straight past the corner. But he did hit Sam, so that's that. Can I minus it yet? Not yet. Only after the first full lap. It doesn't say 23rd. It says 21st. Only because Sam's car stopped him, said Stephen. Good point. Jerry says, miss you, bandits. Let's click on 21st place just to confirm. 21st, it says. 22nd. Andre's seeing things. Where did he see that? Was it in the replay? I'm not going to bother trying to find that to fix. Right, now I should be able to minus it. There you go. So, safety car. This lap. In this lap, the lights are off. Safety cars breed safety cars. I'm not going to release it again, so if they crash this time, they crash. I just wanted to test it. If it still works, it does still work. There's Alexander van der Velde in the Project Dynamic car. It's good to see him. That car is... I don't remember the car looking like that last season. And it does... I really like that livery. So if they do that for all of the cars, all three cars, mwah, beautiful. Oh, who's that? That's Jan Weiswanger getting impatient there. Haven't seen Jan much. Fastest lap of the race so far goes to Martin Wallace, down in 19th place with a 2:15.1. As we see, Joe Gibson is now leaving a gap to the safety car, so he can control the pace. That is allowed. He doesn't have to be right behind it. I just want to try one thing, just whilst we're here. It annoys me that SDK... I mean, that is a cracking view of the... I can't change the camera. I'm just going to have to go for it before I miss the start. I won't be doing that again. That was scary stuff. I was trying to change the camera on the pace car. Weren't working. SDK doesn't let you control safety car things. Maybe I should message them. Maybe they could implement that. I don't know how they would, though. I can't see it being any different from AI. But here we go, then. Track map is up there. They're all together again. Sam Van Olst is back in this race, and Joe Gibson has gone already. Look at the start he's got. He's pulled a second. He's done a perfect start, but David Corpus might be under pressure from Stephen King as they head down towards turn one. As the Joe Gibson has absolutely nailed that start, it has to be said. He's got a nice gap. Could argue more than he had before the pace car. Corpus does defend from King. Into turn two they go, and that is John Bailiff in P4. He's got Arthur Thurtle for company in P5. Kyle Ridley is chasing down them. Duncan Murray is still up there in the top 7, with Ika Lequay and Morgan Burkhardt behind him. Jesus and Mundere behind them. And look who's coming through. It's Dan Mould who's going to look to the inside. Is he as they go down the hill? No. Just stays behind for now. Mark Draper is also behind in P12. See a car lose the rear end. Oh, Mark Draper's lost the rear end as well in the Hyundai. Did you see that? He's sliding round, keeps it on the circuit, but he might come under pressure from Carraday in the Honda. He doesn't. He's got back up to speed and goes through the chicane. There's still smoke up ahead as we can listen to those. Can you hear those engines as loud as I can? Because that sounds fantastic as they were going through that chicane. Mark Draper, though, losing the rear end but holding position. Amundere, the next car up the road. Carraday behind him. Alexander van der Velde is looking to gain some places as well. No one really swapping over just yet. I think Burkhardt was swapping over with Duncan, but Duncan's held the position as Dan Mould is looking to pass Equalaquate. Down the inside of the left-hander, gives him a bit of a nudge, and that is going to open up the door for users. Amundere, he's going to try and get the run, can't get it done. Dan Mould moves up one place. It's going to be hard to steward this season because you could argue that was a bit harsh. Actually, to be fair though, wasn't much different to what I did to, was it Joe? How I initially passed Joe into that corner. There was just a bit of contact on the exit, but I did get it stopped. Oh, look at that. It says full send racing on the left-hand side instead of a helmet. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't know you could do that. Might be able to put team logos there. I don't know if I got time to sort that out for this season, but something for the future. David Corpus has closed the gap to 2/10 to Joe Gibson up here somehow. But this is your top battle. Joe Gibson leading. Corpus, King, Bailiff, Thurtle, Ridley, Murray. Not Murray, Ridley. That's your train. The top 6 all in a train. And I can see Wallace and Weiswanger swapping over. They're 2x2 back here. Van der Velde under pressure as well from Martin Wallace and the CFG Honda machine. Through the S's they go. It's so difficult to pass around this circuit, you know. I mean, I don't want to say I made it look easy with Joe. Joe gave me the utmost respect when we were fighting, to be honest. And I had no idea where he was because I had the stream open on my right-hand side of the screen. Oh, look at that for a little tap of Alexander van der Velde's car. Martin Wallace taps him round, and Van der Velde is absolutely stopped. Martin's going to carry on both of the ZFG boys through. That is an example of a penalty from the ZFG cars there. We were just discussing stewards, but that was a definite advantage by contact. Van der Velde did nothing wrong. Wallace was not alongside. Contact was made. Positions were lost. Van der Velde, I think, has jumped to the pits. He's out of the race. He's called it a day. Where's everyone gone? What's going on at the top? It looks like Gibson is still leading. And the train is growing. Joe Gibson in the Audi. 2 Hondas behind him. Bailiff in the Hyundai, followed by 3 more Hondas. Oh no, there's contact with King and Corpus down through the right-hander. Chaos. Duncan Murray involved as well. King's round and off the circuit. If this was a points round, that would be a hell of a lot of points lost for the team. But Bailiff is up into P2. Thurtle will be loving that. Ridley will be loving that in P4. Burkhardt, most of all, will be loving that since he's been in the top for all 3 races. He's now in P5. He's keeping it clean, but look who's hunting him down. It's Dan Mould in P7. Has got Corpus next, who was in P2. He's saved it. He's held it on to P6. King all the way down the order in P18. Look at Corpus moving under the brakes there on Dan Mould into the hairpin. He's a regular at that. We've had complaints of Corpus moving in braking zones before. People will be like, shock horror alert, just moving in the braking zone. Or was he just braking diagonally? Is there a difference? Is there not? Who knows? But there we had it. Just saw it on Dan Mould, but he's a wily old fox, is Dan, in that Hyundai, the RLTC machine. Currently P7 chasing him down. Lequay and Draper is still in this mix. Look at Draper all over the back of Lequay as they go down towards turn 1. Draper's going to go down the inside of turn 1, but he'll have the outside for turn 2 if Lequay can hold it there. Oh, did they make contact? There's a little bit of rubbing through there. Draper on the outside now. Lequay's going to hold it. Does he accelerate too early and open up the inside on the exit? No, he doesn't. Draper tries to get the run. Has nowhere to go. Is he going to get down the inside on the way down to the right-hander? As King comes into the pits, Murray's in the pits, Manenveld is in the pits, and look at that, Draper does go down the inside of the right-hander, loses the rear. Oh, he's going to go off. Draper off the circuit. Lequay's going to get the switch back. There's another car off in the background there. I didn't see who that was. It's not Amundere, it's Carraday, another Lurcher's car. Draper tried it. You can't fault him for trying, but there he goes. He lost the position back to Lequay, who is in P8. Thurtle is now in P7. Did Thurtle have an issue? because he was higher than that. Down towards turn 1. Oh, that's a slowdown for Arthur Thurtle, who lets 4 cars through. Painful slowdowns. Joe Gibson, though, still coming under pressure. But now from John Bailiff in the Hyundai. That's a slowdown if you go too wide there. Did John get that slowdown? Is he going to serve it in turn 1? Ridley will know that there's a slowdown there. Burkhard will also be licking his lips in P4. Corpus is back up into P5 with Mould and Thurtle in P6 and 7. LeQuay, Draper, Amundere, Carraday, Fry. Thornton is up into P13 with Sam Van Olst for company in the Goldwing car. Coming down into turn 1. Not close enough to get a move done. I thought I heard a car going slowly here, but I cannot see one. Morgan Burkhard in the slipstream of Kyle Ridley. Oh, look at the twitch of that Honda down the hill into the right-hand side. Kyle Ridley absolutely chucking that car around. The Honda's so unstable. I'll tell you what, that looked amazing. I'd love to be able to do a replay of that, but I don't think I can. Shall I just rewind? We're not here officially. I think I might rewind. I'm just going to rewind for the first time because I want to watch that twitch again. Things like that get me excited. Watch this turn in.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry.
Ready? Oh, look at the counter steer! Love it! Let's go back live. I don't want to miss what's going on. Joe Gibson still leads the way. Oh, Bailiff sends it down the inside of the corner. I think this is a move for the lead. John Bailiff down the inside. He's on the inside for the final turn. He cuts across the nose of Joe Gibson. Bailiff takes the lead. Ridley makes contact with Burkhard. Dan Mould comes through into P4. Corpus comes through into P5. Burkhard is down into P6. I'm not sure Carl was at fault, to be honest, from what we saw on that camera. But now Joe Gibson is going to be under pressure from Carl Ridley. He's going to go around the outside of turn 1 and have the inside of turn 2 if he can send it round the outside. He does. Carl Ridley's on the inside of turn 2. Up into P2 goes the winner or Bennett machine. Dan Mould now in P4. It's going to be hunting down Joe Gibson in the ORD car. And look at the lead John Bailiff's pulled out in the Pulsar's Hyundai. Carl Ridley flashes his headlights to try and distract him, but nothing doing there as they go down towards the downhill right-hander. Joe Gibson defends. Dan Mould takes a wider line. Corpus is trying to gain that position. He's on the inside. Is David Corpus in the Lurchus car? I think he's going to get the move done. The Honda of David Corpus, the Lurchus Academy car from last season, makes a move on the current effective championship leader who's won both races. Dan Mould, who's just lost out to David Corpus, the Portuguese driver. And look at Morgan Burkhard all over the back of Dan Mould's car. This is lap 9 of 10 here of race 3 of the RLTC Championship qualifier round. This is for no points. I hope it's this clean for the points round. Dan Mould around the outside of Corpus into the hairpin. Corpus tries to get the better exit, tries to run him off the road, but Dan Mould's front end is there. He's got the inside for the left-hander. Morgan Burkhard's going to try and push him through. There's going to be a bit of rubbing on the exit, not too much. Loses the rear, does Corpus, and Dan Mould gains that position back. Morgan's going to stick his nose in to the left into the final turn. Morgan Burkhard around the outside of David Corpus into the final turn. Morgan tries to hold him tight, keeps his nose there all the way round. There's a tiny bit of overlap. Morgan Burkhard is still there. That is Arthur Thurtle behind in the other machine. Carl Ridley still flashes his headlights. Corpus defends. He's in the middle of the circuit. Does he pick left? Does he pick right? Morgan Burkhard around the outside. Can't do it. David Corpus holds the position in P5. Dan Mould up into P4, who is on the back of Joe Gibson. And now look at him. He's going to go to the inside of this right-hander. We've seen it done before. He's going to... Oh, he tries to squeeze the gap, and Joe defends it as they go down the hill. Look at the wide line that Dan Mould takes, trying to get the better run on the exit, but Joe is positioning his car in a perfect position. Dan Mould can't do anything about it. But now he's on the inside for the chicane. Me and Joe race through here. They rub doors into the left-hander. And Dan Mould moves up into P3. Joe Gibson down to P4. He nearly held onto a podium here. And now he's under pressure from David Corpus, Burkhard and Thurtle and Draper. They're all behind him. Joe Gibson has done an absolutely cracking job. I hope he's had fun in this race 3. He might be disappointed that he didn't win it, but he's had his fair share of action as Joe Gibson today. We had a lot of racing in race 2. And now look, he's got a lot of racing in race 3. He's still in P4, so he should be happy with that. Team ORD will be happy with that. Their other car, Dan Thornton, is in P13. I've forgotten who their first... Oh, it's Mats Borg Andersen, who's not here today. Who will be returning. The Norwegian driver. His home race. He's missing his home race. This is the finish. John Bailiff comes across the line. Oh, I shouldn't say that, but there he goes. He finishes across the line, flashes his headlights. John Bailiff takes a win. It's not a real win because it's just qualifying day. The trend is you win on qualifying day, you don't win for the season, but let's see if he can do it. Carl Ridley comes home in P2. Dan Mould first, and third. What a force to be reckoned with. But he did race here not too long ago with SRL. So, is it one of those? Is it just because it's fresh in his mind? I'm absolutely not diminishing his skill because I know Dan is fast wherever he goes. I am just saying that Rudskogen is fresh in his memory from not too long ago. Joe Gibson P4 should be happy with that. David Corpus, after what can only be described as a disappointing Volkswagen Jetta Cup season in Season 3, with all of the pace that he showed in the Jetta in practices, just couldn't turn it into a result in races for whatever reason, whether it was accidents or just race pace. Comes back into the RLTC's first test session effectively and absolutely creates a storm, does David Corpus. Top 10 results all around for that man. Morgan Burkhardt, last year's champion, will be... In fact, I don't know why we call these seasons 1, 2, 3 and 4, because Stephen King did mention this earlier. Just the way it falls, because we run 2 championships, they do end up being yearly. So we might as well just call this the 2023 season of the RLTC. And then later on have the 2023 season of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup towards Christmas. John is still absolutely basking in this glory. And so he should. He'll be happy with that. I wonder if they're going to stick with those cars, King and Bailiff. I'm going to have to be aware of that because I definitely went on autopilot and... nice. Like a glove. And commentated just what they looked like last season. He tries the reverse donuts in the front wheel drive machine. He also shows off the track map feature that shows a red dot if you've gone off track and your number gets highlighted in red on the left hand side where it says first. It annoys me that the wheels don't move when you're doing donuts on iRacing. Has anyone seen the wet weather update? Apparently wet tyres have been added. It might be coming even sooner than we think. Well, it was meant to be 2022, so it's already later than we think. But it is happening this year, I hope. Let's go to the start. Should we do some interviews for qualifying day? Or are we just going to freeze up? No, there we go. Let's see if there's anyone that wants an interview. Oh, they removed the wet tyres. They just teased it, did they, Stephen? They were just like, have some wet tyres. Psych! Going to take them away. You're not getting it this year, 2024. Glotteray on YouTube says, cracking race. Well done, John, says Stephen. Dan is a serious championship contender. Or says Stephen on Twitch. Mr. BF John says, go on, Dan. He pulled some great moves in that third race. That's for sure. Sam's car stopped him. Okay, we've caught up on chat. Let's have a look at the interview room. No one. I didn't say there was going to be interviews, to be fair. So... yeah, no one's there. Should we talk to anyone? Should we talk to Dan? I think it'll be interesting to hear from Dan. Let's drag him up and say hello if he's in... Oh, he's not in the chat, actually. He might be in the SRL Discord. I think he is sat in the SRL Discord by himself. I want to talk to Joe then. Let's bring Joe in because we haven't seen Mr. Gibson since last RLTC season. We could say we've missed him, the ORD driver in the Audi. But I'm welcoming him in. He's in P4. He didn't get the podium. But you were in the thick of it for race 2 and 3. Well, I know you was in the action in race 2 because I was there. And then race 3, I watched it, and you were in the action. How was it for you, Joe? Welcome back. How's it feeling?
Thanks for having me back. I think to go out and enjoy this little meeting was the aim. Having little practice, just getting to know this track. with probably only about half an hour practice beforehand. Had a good bit of fun with you, race 2. Race 1 was a bit of a shocker. Kind of binned it off watching someone else. Race 2, got warmed up with you, a bit side by side for, I think it was about nearly half a lap.
That was some...
And then race 3.
Some weird ones on that race too. I was trying to commentate and race at the same time, and that last few laps when I was trying to catch back up to the Lurchers boys, I wasn't talking, so I was trying to catch them up. But racing with you, I was like, oh, we're just gonna try and go side by side through these S's and stuff, and it was happening. But no, I did say, like, it's always fun racing you, because you can always assume that there's going to be a little bit of room given, but also not gifted, so it's you never know who's going to come out on top. And half the time I didn't know where you were. I could hear your car, but I just didn't know. I didn't know how far alongside you were or not. But started on pole for race 3, and then you held on to it for a while, but came under a lot of pressure. Tell us how that went.
I think I nailed the start. It was pretty short-lived because I went cold into turn 1, so I had instant pressure. Was it halfway? Did I make it a lap? I can't remember. And then I was kind of delighted with the safety car. Gave me a bit of breathing room. Nice couple of laps just to get my head together. Something I haven't done very often, so it was a bit new. Had a couple people in my ear, but went nice. And I think I gave P2 a bit of a shock because I did a little weave and then just hit the gas.
Oh, you definitely nailed the restart for sure. I think you pulled a second by turn 1.
Yeah.
He must have been watching King behind or something, but he was sleeping for sure on the start.
Yeah. And then it was just defend. I'm not the fastest guy on the grid, but I wasn't gonna let him get past easy.
Was it good to see the pace car return?
Yes.
I missed the little Porsche, seeing it go round. We didn't see it every round last season, but it definitely made its fair share of appearances. The races seemed action-packed here. I didn't know what to expect with Rudskogen. It is a difficult track to pass, and definitely with half-hour practice, I think you're a scarier prospect because the track needs more than that because of the... I'm surprised you didn't get bitten by that downhill right. You may have in race 1. But the downhill right-hander just absolutely, people were all off at that part of the track. It was only because I did a bit of practice beforehand that I tried to hold it together through there. But I was watching all of the cars up ahead go off. Did you have any slides through there that nearly scared you?
I learned after absolutely herring it in there, back end, come out first race. It's shaky through there. You have to be gentle, and smooth.
Definitely.
But yeah,
sure.
it catches a lot of people out. But no, it's good to have that one in the bag, bit of experience, and can't wait to start the season.
No worries. We'll sort out teams and drivers and liveries before the Virginia International Raceway, which is in 2 weeks. We've got 2 weeks to sort that out, so we can have a break now and sort any issues that came up today. Nice to see you again, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Thanks, Joe. There's Joe. I've just seen Dan Mould join, so I will pull him up since he was probably, if this was a points round, be the championship leader. And we'll get some close-up shots of the SRL-TCR livery as well from J Brown Designs. Dan, a win, and a P3. How was your first experience? It's not even a proper experience, really, of the RLTC.
Good, man. Yeah, it's good racing there. This track's very hard to pass on, which I've learned from our own league race here on Friday. But yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it. I had a good battle in the third race. Second race, I was just trying to catch Mark, flashing my lights, trying to put him off. But we're good mates, so it's all good. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a good league.
We didn't get to watch race 2 that much because I ended up jumping in the car and
right, that's all good. It's all good.
trying it myself. We did keep an eye on I had chat on the right hand side, and people were telling me because Draper led for most of it, didn't he? I think you passed him towards the end and won by less than a second.
Mark, he really underestimates how good he is. He is lightning fast, and the trouble is when people get in the mirror who are as fast, he gets to him and he needs to iron that out. Because like I say, he's rapid in the TCR. One of the reasons why I messaged him to get him back into our league, and I'm so glad he's in this league because it's good competition.
Yeah, I mean this one. I mean it's been a year since we've done it now, so it's going to be interesting to see how it goes with a couple of new drivers mixing in with these guys. But quick drivers like yourself, and like you said, Draper is fast. He came in, he was fast in practice. He's had some strong results today. The thing, I'm sure the guys will say anyway, they're not going to keep secrets and you might make the same mistakes some people did in their first season, but with the reverse 6 and the reverse 12, it is literally, as with all racing, just survival and collecting those points to come out on top by the end. But a first and a third is an extremely strong result. With you ended up starting 6th and then 12th. So. I mean, will it be that easy at other rounds? I don't know. Was it easy at all? I don't know. I mean, race 3 was definitely probably the hardest one. Am I right?
Race 3 was difficult, yeah.
You pulled off some stunning moves at the end there, actually. You'll probably enjoy watching that one back.
Cheers. I mean, as the season goes on, as we know, when you league race, people just, they learn each other and they learn where the strengths and weaknesses are. So I do think it'll be a good league. And
tell us about Corpus. So what did you learn about Corpus today?
Corpus, go on, enlighten me.
He's the silver Honda that was in front of you in P2, I think.
Oh, I had a bit of an altercation with somebody who nearly cut my nose off. I think that might have been him, but
was it in a braking zone?
No, it was on the exit of a corner.
Okay.
It was actually on the hairpin. I went round the outside of him. I did it a lap before, but he got me back. And I tried it again. He just thought, nope, you're not having that. And then just kind of drove into me. I was like, what are you doing? But no, it's all good, man. It's it's TCR racing. It's what you expect. You expect to get shunted left to right.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it. I always dread the stewards room, but I think in fairness, from what we saw in that qualifying round, if the season goes like that, I shouldn't be too stressed because that was.
You'll never see a protest from me, mate. It's my hobby. I love it. I don't really care whether I finish first or last. That's a lie. I do like winning, but
yeah,
That's
what I was going to say. Don't say that because there's something they do in this, and they'll record your radio messages for a soundboard.
No. The nature of racing in the TCR, you've got to expect. You can't expect to finish every race just because it's so close and and tight. It's not going to happen. All it takes is one person to spin off and clatter you, race over. It's just one of them things. So you're just going with an open mind. That's what's happened lately. I've just changed my mindset now. I just turn up and race for the laugh. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. It's simple as that.
Perfect. Pace car, yay or nay?
I did not. I have to apologise to the lads. I saw the yellow flag. I treated it as an opportunity, and I tried to send it on 4 cars, and I was like, what's going on? And I looked down at my black box. I was like, oh, pace car, shit. I don't know, Jack. That's on you. I don't know what
we had it.
What's it for? Is it
today
to
was today was just a test, just to make sure it still worked from last season. So last season we did use it. It was only ever for. It was mainly for starts. If a start had a large amount of cars involved in a big crash, maybe I didn't put a number on it. It was on the whim. Let's say 5 or more cars, because there was 30 drivers. So 5 or more cars were involved mid-pack, and then a few people with damage. The pace car would come out. Those guys would pit and rejoin on the back of the field. It's always out for a minimum of 3 laps. But we didn't actually see it. We saw it a couple times, but we didn't see it too often. It wasn't for one-off crashes. If 2 people crash and one person is out, it doesn't normally come out. It's normally for large amounts of people. There was 3 people in that last race, but I wanted to test it out.
So are them cars a lap down then, or are they allowed to pass the pack?
No, they actually never end up being a lap down. The pit lane is open, and the pace car's always out for a minimum of 3 laps. So you should, even if you've crashed. I mean, I don't know if you lose your wheels anymore. Do people lose their wheels still in these cars? I haven't raced them since they've updated.
to be fair, mate, I only really do league racing now, and I don't really do official, so I don't do much at all.
All of them this time were on the lead lap. I'm sure there
That's
were occasions in the first season where someone was a lap down. They didn't end up unlapping themselves, so they just ended up racing whoever else was a lap down. But I just have a feeling that they weren't. To be fair, they weren't on the pace. So it was just we shouldn't see people.
If it was me and I got into an instant and I had to pit in and I knew I could go back out and jump on the back of the pack, then yeah. So I'm game for it.
Yeah.
But obviously you're losing 3 laps of the race, aren't you?
You'll like it until you got a 5-second lead and then everyone catches back up.
Yeah, but it makes it more fun again, doesn't it?
It does.
I'm not gonna lie. I did say to Arthur, I was like, I want to race. I don't want to be out this far. I'm gonna back off. But then I thought, I don't want to seem arrogant, you know. Who wants to jump in a rig and have a race and just lap on your own? You want to race, so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'd take it as it comes because we don't know how the season's gonna go. I think you definitely would have sparked a target maybe, or also a couple of rivalries now because you got Morgan who's going to look to defend his title and he'll put some work in probably to try and get on even pace.
I like Morgan already.
Yeah, you like him? That's
He's
good.
Feisty Morgan is. Yeah, he's ace.
And you'll have his teammates to deal with next time as well, which is Cranston
Excellent.
and Huffman. Cranston's definitely just as quick, and then Huffman is a great team player, shall we say?
That's what we want. We want to battle, don't we?
Yeah, and obviously the car situation I'll explain in Discord, but it's good to speak to you, Dan, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll speak to you again soon.
And you, Jack. Thanks, mate. See you soon, bud.
See you later. I was going to go through the whole car thing, but we've all gone through that. We all know that there should be 10 teams, 1 car of each in each team. It's looking good. Do you know what? I enjoyed that. I was skeptical at first, I'm not going to lie, because the Jetta Cup only feels like it's just finished. And we're jumping straight into the touring cars, which I haven't even driven for the whole year. And I was tempted to do a GR86 league, which we can still do after this. Maybe we'll do a short one in that middle part of the year and end up running 3 leagues a year. Who knows? Depends on work. Work is stressful. But I'm glad that you all came and joined us for this. Thank you for those that were supporting. Stephen, good to see you. I saw John in there, Andre in there, Glottere on YouTube. Greg was out there as well. Tide 323. Who else? Andy was out there as well. I think I saw Andy. So thank you all for coming and watching. It's been a great pleasure. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. Don't forget, 2 weeks' time is the media day for this race. It is the 23rd of January, and we're at Virginia International Raceway. Same time. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.